Hi there, can I ask you a favor? There's a little parakeet right here. She's been missing for days.
That's J.P. Borum, and she's searching for Mei Mei.
What? A parakeet? Yeah. Someone dumped her in the park.
It's something J.P. does every day for the last 3 months, for hours at a time.
She's back. Do you see her? Look at the little neon bird right here.
And if you're not a birder and you're wondering, well, what does Mei Mei have to do with my life? Well, perhaps a lot. People have been learning life lessons from Mei Mei. They're inspired by her. She makes them feel hopeful about life.
I just love her little face. She, for a domestic budgie, to make it out there, to kind of shrug off little attacks by starlings and just keep foraging, this is miraculous.
You see, Mei Mei is a parakeet. And in August, Mei Mei suddenly appeared in New York's Central Park. That's where Mei Mei has been living. But it's now the end of October, and a parakeet can't survive such cold New York weather. But Mei Mei has defied the odds. Mei Mei, her head is yellow, her body is green, her tail is blue, and she is resourceful. She refuses to go into a cage, a net, anything that would rescue her. Sean Mintz is also searching for Mei Mei.
This stop is Central Park North and Adam C. Powell Boulevard.
All right, we just hopped off the bus. My goal right now is to spend about an hour each day looking.
Mei Mei, she's tough. She hangs out with sparrows.
She looks nothing like them, and yet for whatever reason, they are happy to have her in their flock. When one startles and they all fly off, she flies with them. It's like inspiring.
J.P. Borum and Sean Mintz, two New Yorkers who are doing everything they can to save Mei Mei the parakeet, rescue her, take her to the vet before the weather in New York gets even colder.
We checked out 2 parks. I know other people will be checking in the afternoon, so this is Sean signing off from the search for Mei Mei. Talk to you later. Bye.
Hello, Mei Mei. She was squawking. She goes, wah, wah, wah.
She's the one that goes,
That's correct. She goes, wah, 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 wah. And that can mean, hi, I see you.
I mean, I hear that she has an infection on her feet and other issues. Tell us about the dangers if Mei Mei is not rescued.
Yeah, I mean, the most immediate danger right now is probably the cold. The fact that she's survived for 2 months shows that she is incredibly resourceful. I mean, there's cars, there's predators, there's poisons. I mean, there's thing after thing after thing. And JP described it so well. I mean, she really has taken on these wild characteristics. And so bringing her in has proven to be far more difficult than I think either of us possibly imagined.
You mean she learned to be wild?
That's what it seems like to me. She does not respond to the sound of other budgies. She does not respond to talking and cages and food in the way you might expect her to. She behaves much more like one of the sparrows, foraging on the grass, responding to sounds at the same time they do, roosting in the same trees that they do. It's a beautiful, fascinating, but also somewhat frustrating experience.
So how have you tried to rescue her, JP?
Initially, I was looking for her everywhere. I started with the net around the 26th. That's when I first saw her. And the horticulturists from Shakespeare Garden at Central Park they brought 2 nets and helped me try to catch her with a net. And we tried so hard to catch Mei Mei with the net. And Mei Mei was actually much slower and not fully wild in those days, toward the end of August. She was still too fast for the net. Neither of us, it just wasn't working. She's just too quick. And then in the beginning of September, I went to Petco and got a cage. I brought seeds. I had this cage set up, and Mei Mei would come around and she would forage around it. And Sean will attest, she's stronger, faster than either of us or any of us ever expected her to be.
I carry around a blanket and a paper bag, which is, one of the ways you would use to rescue an injured bird, for example. And every time I post a photo, I get so many positive responses, but also, have you tried this? Have you tried this? Have you tried this? And we really have. We tried a lot of stuff. And I think that speaks to, her ability to protect herself, her sort of, her turn towards being more of a wild animal.
Yeah.
is that she's not really responding to a lot of the tips that we get because she's not behaving like a pet bird. So today we both tried, and the fact is she's healthy, she's fast, and until that changes, we're observing her, we're tracking her, the
Mm.
community is helping us to track her, and that's really the most that we can do. And every time an opportunity presents itself, we'll try,
Mm.
and certainly others are welcome to help us. But
But she escapes your rescue attempt.
Yeah.
exactly.
She sounds very resourceful. Are there other resourceful things that you've seen her do other than avoid being captured?
Well, early on, she would be on the walking paths. She would stay very visible. And that's changed a lot over the last couple of months. She's learned to be in the trees. Obviously, she's finding some warmth somewhere that's helping to protect her. And we think the sparrows are probably a part of that.
Well, if tomorrow you managed to rescue her, where would you put her? Where would she go? What would you do with her?
Basically, there is a budgie aviary at the Bronx Zoo, and she would certainly need to be quarantined because she's carrying native avian diseases. So she would need a
Hmm.
quarantine. I could certainly quarantine her here. And then, she needs treatment, and the sooner she gets treatment, the better. But I cannot imagine Mei Mei in a cage just sitting there alone. Like that just can't happen. So, a sanctuary or an aviary like the one at the Bronx Zoo would be optimal.
Oh, so clearly you're both taken with Mei Mei.
We love her. We're co-parenting.
We're both at this and we're both trying real hard.
Yeah. I know you can't hug a bird, but she's sweet and tough at the same time, and that's a rare combination. And I just really want her to be safe. I want her to come in. Good night, Mei Mei. I love you. Sorry I didn't stay long.
Well, it's been 2 days since I last spoke with JP and Sean. And after almost 3 months of trying to rescue her, this morning it happened. Mei Mei was moving a little slower today, perhaps because of the cold weather. And after JP heard Sean describe to me how he throws the blanket trying to rescue Mei Mei, JP decided to try that technique, but with a net. And today, as Mei Mei was walking very close to the bike lane in Central Park, JP took off the handle, threw the net, and rescued Mei Mei. I'm happy to report that this morning, for the first time in months, Mei Mei is safe and warm.
Is it delicious? We're gonna have a cozy day today.
She's eating some millet right now, and she's received medical attention and looks happy and content. Maybe we all need a little Mei Mei in our lives. Something or someone that reminds us that we can defy the odds, make our own paths, be resourceful. In a time where there's sometimes too much frustration, division, and cynicism, I hope that in your own lives, you find something that inspires you, gives you hope, that you find your own Mei Mei.